Hey, what's up, yeah, right? It's John here, and it's a very special occasion because we have Sam Littlefield from Batwoman, and Lewis is here too. So, hey, everybody.
Oh.
Steve representing, man. Thanks, Sam, for coming in. Oh, man, this made my day. I'm a real big fan.
Oh, awesome, man. I love your shirt. Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh yeah, I told Lewis about this, and I know, like, out of all of us, he's been the one watching the show. He's been keeping up to date, and he's the one that's been telling me, John, you need to watch the show because whatever you saw from the trailer, don't judge the trailer, just watch the show.
Oh,
And
trailer? I haven't even seen the trailer. Is it not?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I watched it. I'm caught up on the show. I'm on the last episode, and
Cool.
yeah. So I guess you can give us a little rundown on your character and what your character does in the show.
My name is Jonathan Cartwright, but I go by Mouse. I am a part of the Wonderland gang. Alice, she and I are partners in crime, causing mayhem and throughout Gotham. And yeah, I don't know. It's been a wild ride. I really had the best time doing the show.
This journey started with me a year ago. I just wanted to add that at Comic-Con. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this year, but
Yep.
I'm very grateful to have John invite me over here to speak to you as well. So I want to thank you very much for being part of this escapism that we really need.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. That gives me something to hang on to while we're all in quarantine.
Oh yeah.
Hoping for a light at the end of the tunnel.
Aaron's like, I just finished the last episode. The show is low key fire. But your character. The thing I love about Batwoman is just the family drama, and nothing connects me more than brothers, sisters trying to fend for themselves against the whole world. And what did you have to do to channel this, or any research, or pulling from your personal experiences?
Well, I have a sister, so the complex relationship filled with a lot of love and history. But this has taken me. It's been a journey, sort of coming to understand who Mouse is and what kind of makes him tick. And the writers gave me some really beautiful scenes along the way to draw from, and in a lot of ways there was a lot of collaboration. Sort of, I would do a scene and the writers would come and bring something, based on that scene that I would then work on. But also my relationship with Rachel Scarston, who plays Alice, our dynamic and the way we kind of work together was so collaborative and creative. And I don't know. I mean, it was really a season of discovery. I was discovering who Mouse was myself along the way, with the audience. And I have really grown to love him. I think that he sort of exemplifies kind of what we're all going through, and sort of trying to discover who we are as ourselves. When you first meet Mouse, he's kind of an overgrown child, and throughout the course of the show, you start to see him kind of take flight and figure out who he is in this really nutty world of Gotham.
That's very intriguing. What you and Rachel, you touched upon it, what you've done together. The chemistry is really off the hook. And your show or movie, in my opinion, is only as good as your villain. And you guys are great villains. So I think that's one of the great success there. If someone would ask you to describe the relationship between Mouse and Alice, what would your description be? It's kind of like, what is it, brother and sister, or what is it? Is she the leader? Are you the leader? What is it?
People always ask me, like, so are they going to get together? And I'm like, I don't know.
I think it's because subconsciously, us fans, we would get together.
And their relationship is not actually normal. So
Rachel's a very beautiful girl. I think that they just have such a shared sort of trauma experience. That basement and whatever took place in that basement when they were children It's a secret that only they can relate to and share between the two of them. They truly are partners in crime that are, trying to, I think they're trying to make themselves whole by, enacting revenge and sort of coming to terms with whatever was, placed on them, whatever, they were as, vulnerable children, didn't have the power to stand up for themselves. As they are now coming into adulthood, they are sloppily trying to kind of take their own, make their own narrative in a way. And I completely forget what the question was.
Well, it's a description pretty much of your relationship with Alice, because it's a partnership, but then sometimes it seems like she is the leader. And you guys aren't really equal. And then there's the creepy thing about that you guys are like brothers and sister, but then there is people pushing for a romantic relationship there as well.
Pretty
so
sure there's
like,
a hashtag there somewhere.
Yeah.
Malice. We came up with Malice. Mouse Alice.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a real thing? Is that a thing?
I'm pretty sure.
I tried to make it a thing, but it didn't really seem to take off. Gabriel Mann actually came up with the idea for Malice, and Rachel and I were both like, "Yeah, that's awesome!" But it didn't seem to take off. Maybe today, maybe after today, this will.
Oh yeah, make it happen.
Soar. Yeah, I mean, I think they just have a very complex dynamic. Alice has her own goals in sight outside of Mouse. And I think that Mouse sometimes thinks that he owns her. So I think that sort of lays up the groundwork for a complex dynamic between the two of them.
Oh, yeah. And with the show, there's a lot of scheming and a lot of just people being held captive. Yeah. And I don't know if there's any part where when you're filming this, you feel like, oh, we're going off the deep end, or this is really dark, because a lot of dark stuff happens with these two characters.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I guess I don't know that much network television myself, but I am pretty surprised at not only how dark, but also how complex the history of these characters. I mean, it's surprising to me that we're able to get away with a lot of what we get away with. And I think it's super cool. I love that stuff.
I think it's something that makes DC special, gives DC an edge, is that we could get into this dark area and then have the light, come out. So go ahead, John. Sorry.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, no, I just want to add about the whole, just how dark things can get. There's like a certain scene, spoiler alert, where your character's dad tries to kill himself, and with the neck thingamajiggy. Yeah. I don't want to describe it, but I was like watching that. I was like, wait a minute, am I watching a CW show? So yeah.
That scene was so that episode I remember it was so great that it was there was a lot going on, but John Emmett Tracy is a fabulous actor. That scene that I did in the hospital bed with him was one of my favorite moments on set. Just really great guy to bounce things off of.
One thing people don't realize, I mean, we kind of do because we've been interviewing people behind the scenes for a while, is that sometimes it seems like the actors all interact. Do you get to interact with Batwoman herself, Ruby Rose, or are most of your scenes separate? Because I know you guys got your hideout in one area, and then she's got her stuff in her. How much interaction do you do with various actors in the show, especially Ruby?
Most of my interactions were definitely with Rachel. Cameras lived, his apartment was really near mine, so we ended up developing our own independent relationship. Ruby's great. She's so busy. I mean, she's carrying the entire show, and so our show primarily films in tandem units. There's 2 film crews going on all the time, and Ruby was constantly bouncing between both units in order to get enough coverage for to get the episode done. But they really they were very ambitious in what they are, have been trying to do in accomplishing an entire episode of Batwoman, an entire season of Batwoman. And Ruby's the one that has to. She's got to be there in all places at all times. So I dig her. Yes, we do have a working relationship, but being that I kind of had this sort of awesome situation where I was flying back and forth every week. I live in Los Angeles, and so it was always just such a trip. I was telling my friends, it's almost like booting up in Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall, where I come to reality living in LA, and then I fly up there, and I'm suddenly just in Gotham. My sister came and visited me, stayed in my hotel room, and was just like looking around. She's like, "This is so unreal," and it really is. It was an unreal scenario.
That's awesome.
And yeah, speaking of like Gotham, just what was it like just being there and having the sets be transformed into that? Because if you're in LA, it's a city, it's a big city. We're all in LA, and so was there like a surprises for you? Like, man, this is how it should look like.
I mean, the crew is amazing. They would, these huge, Ruby's bar that she works at, that just popped up like one day, and that was constantly always the case. There was always, the fight scenes, the stunt people would come up with these incredible fight scenes just out of thin air, and they would have them primed and filmed, even like to show us like how they were choreographed, shot, all the effects around them, and they would present that to us even just when when walking into the rehearsals. So I don't know, the whole thing was just so unreal and very highly produced.
As an actor, could you describe a little bit about how it is working through, because you have all those prosthetics? Because I can tell right now, man, you're a real handsome dude, but they put that stuff on you. You know what I mean? To kind of like make it almost like a Two-Face character effect. But acting through that, and do you have to over articulate your stuff? Is it difficult? Do you find it challenging in any way?
I remember in the very beginning, when they first flew me up there, I'm normally blonde. I have blonde short hair. Within the first week of getting the job, I'm flying up to Vancouver, and they're putting in it was a 10-hour process of putting hair extensions in my head. And then the makeup test, there were like 8 hair tests. There were something like 6 or 7 makeup tests. And at first I was kind of intimidated about trying to act through the makeup. After a while though, it really just becomes second nature. And I had such a close-knit relationship with my makeup team, Jen, Sam, and Felix in particular, who we had our own trailer that was just basically specifically for us.
House trailer
would come in. It was basically the B unit trailer, but it ended up being sort of our makeshift trailer. And so every day, there's 2.5 hours of makeup that I do, and I'm able to kind of download the scenes with them, and I was able to kind of work through, how do I say this line, or what do you think of this part, and so it just became kind of second nature. But also it's really informative. When you think about like an 8-year-old boy getting his face completely marred, and immediately being just treated as an other and someone who is not fit to exist in society. A little boy like that, that's just so devastating. I remember looking in the mirror after our first makeup test, and I was just so struck with how sad that is. I remember there was a girl that, sorry, I keep going, but
no, it's fine.
When I was on the swim team when I was a kid, there was a girl who was on my swim team, and 90% of her body had burned from a fire. And everything that she had to go through in that, it's just an insurmountable amount of pain. And, it's challenging enough just being alive, you know. But to have to go through something like that at such a young age, so unfair, and it helped. It was helpful. It was very informative for me.
John?
And the makeup process, I don't know if you embrace that, especially with the long hours of just putting things on. And I figured you made time to just have fun with it, talking to the makeup artist, doing stories.
Mm-hmm. But that was a question?
Yeah. The question is like whether it was like daunting with the makeup, like with the long hours.
Oh, the makeup was some of my favorite time. I mean, yeah, just like shooting the. Can you swear on this? I don't know.
You can say shit.
Okay, shooting the shit with.
You're the guest.
Shooting the shit with them and just downloading. The process of like putting it on and then getting on set and then taking it off. It was kind of a ritual. And again, my makeup team were some of my favorite people. Just very down to earth, awesome people that you can go on like CW Batwoman on the Instagram page. I just did a takeover, and there's a bunch of footage of us, putting on the makeup, working with the team. And yeah, it's some of my favorite time. It was not daunting at all. The hair was very daunting. It's like imagine sitting in a hair chair for 10 hours straight. You can't, every time you get up to like get a drink of water or go to the bathroom or like whatever, that's just adding more time onto this incredibly long process of putting these very tiny hair extensions and gluing them to your hair one by one. And I have the most incredible hair team. Deidre, who puts in the hair, she's just unreal. It's unbelievable what she's able to do. And Dana, who's the head of hair, she was such a friend and guide throughout the whole process.
Throughout the season, we've noticed that you're taking over, or your character Mouse is taking over other people's bodies. Other actors are Mouse as well. Are those actors required to, or have they met up with you to kind of mimic your mannerisms and stuff like that? Is that something that happens there? So they're still you, but they're not?
It didn't really happen that much. It was honestly, from what I knew, the actor, they would give footage of my performance. Okay. And in a lot of ways, like in the beginning, I was kind of figuring out who Mouse was. So when they would use something, I'd be like, oh, I like that. I'll use that. But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, they were given footage, and they helped me. They helped inform who Mouse is along with me.
Do you get creative input into the character? I mean, how the character is developed? I mean, I know you have the script and the story, but as far as like, this is Mouse mannerisms and personality, do you get creative input in that?
Yeah, definitely. Especially toward the end of the season. Caroline Dreiss, our showrunner, is so cool. And I would shoot emails to her and call her all the time, especially when I got more confident and felt like I really had a handle on who Mouse was. And I was lucky enough, because you don't always have that, where you have a writer, a showrunner, a producer who's willing to take your opinion on things. And Caroline is very permeable. She really was always so open to any ideas that I ever had or Rachel ever had. And I think that's kind of what made it more fun. And I think it's also what made it as good as it got. You know what I mean? Because
Can you give us an example of that?
I can't, because it would give away what's going to happen.
How about something that's happened in a previous episode without giving anything away for future episodes?
Oh, I mean, just particular lines. There was the scene when with the gas, the fear gas. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
And I just had many particular opinions about that scene. I really needed to get more information on what they kind of wanted to accomplish with the fear gas, because I didn't want to do some kind of shticky thing. I wanted it to really kind of be as, grounded and as intentional as it possibly could be. But Rachel, me, the writers, Caroline, Holly Dale, she's the producing director, and she ended up she was directing that episode in particular. But we all that scene with me and Rachel when she comes down that's one of my proudest moments on the show. I felt so proud of everyone because everyone had a hand in it and everyone was listening to one another. I, specifically remember talking to the writer and just being like, I feel like he wouldn't say it like that, or he would blah, blah, blah. And same deal with everyone. It was an open window into, we all just wanted to figure it out and come up with the best possible scene and possible solution to what those scenes needed to accomplish. And I think my sister sent me it's on Instagram, they have little scenes from little clips from the show. And I just watched it the other day and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I thought we kind of came up with something pretty innovative, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Tooting my own.
I have a question, but it involves, I'm going to show you something real quick. It's going to take a second.
You're good.
Were you familiar with the rich history of the CW? Did you know what you were getting yourself into? Because the man you're talking to right now, this guy is obsessed with the CW superheroes. And I feel like it all started here with this guy, Smallville. Were you familiar with this? This box weighs a ton, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what? My favorite show growing up, and I was obsessed with it, was Roswell. I loved that show because I kind of feel like I'm an alien. I just totally related. But Smallville came right after that, and I thought it was so well done. Tom Welling was so good. I didn't really get past the first season of that show, but yeah, I thought it was a really well done teen show.
Oh man, you revealed you sometimes stay in LA. If ever you want to pick it up and borrow it, man, I'll let you borrow it. No rent fees.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I
tell you, it just like Batwoman, it gets better and better as it goes. So after season 1, it just gets better.
Oh wow, really? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that was a good cast. I remember. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for the offer. We'll have to figure out social distancing. I guess I'll have to bleach it once I borrow it from you, and we'll have to do some kind of weird handoff. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the what was it? The crossover episodes. I don't know if you have any thoughts on hey, maybe Mouse should be a part of this, or maybe if I'm not in this, maybe the next crossover for the next season.
Sure. I mean, yeah, at that time when the crossover was still happening, I was still just kind of getting my feet wet on the whole thing. And it was actually kind of nice. I mean, they filmed that, I think, for an entire month, the crossover. And it was very daunting. I mean, our amazing crew. And, it's tough because we primarily film at nights. And if you think about that, if you start filming at, 7 p.m. and you have until 6 a.m., that's one day. And then you have to sleep. So then you're sleeping during all daytime hours. And then you have to do it all again. And your circadian rhythms are just completely screwed up. So everybody's just being asked to operate on a sleep schedule that you have nothing to rely on. It's constantly moving around. Mm. And during the time of the crossover, people were just starting to kind of get acclimated to this new sleep schedule. And then the crossover was such an immense undertaking. It's really amazing that everybody was able to accomplish what they were able to accomplish. And I left for a month and came on back, and they're like, we survived it,
Louis?
Oh, okay. Geez, there's so many questions here I would like to ask. So we're now, Mouse and Alice are taking over stuff now. They're in, is that the asylum? Is that Arkham Asylum? I don't recall as much. Okay. So you guys, with by not telling us everything and not spoiling anything, tell us everything. What to expect?
What
are we going to expect?
All I can say is that these scripts that were coming up are my favorite of the entire season. everything that they brought to us, I was so excited about. For just going into Arkham was so exciting for me. I don't really know why. I loved American Horror Story Asylum. Did you guys watch that?
I've had a chance to check that out.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. Jessica Lange plays the head nun of this psych ward. I don't know. There's just something special about that. We filmed our basically our base camp was this former mental institution for women where they did lobotomies and all the nutty things that they did back all the way up to the 70s. So there was such an informative atmosphere that was I don't know, just a very cool setup. And then having Gabriel Mann come in to work with him and Rachel, us as kind of a trifecta. We called ourselves the Squad. It was fun. It was a really a live experience for me. And
I am very happy, and I think the fans are very appreciative that we've got introduced. Some of us got introduced to you for the first time through Batwoman and the CW, which is wonderful. You've done a great job. So I want to ask you, what is coming up for you so we could keep following your career and support you like you've come here to Nerd Reactor and supported us and the community. I want to know what's next for you, Sam, because I want to check you out.
That's so sweet. Thank you. My movie just came out actually 2 days ago on iTunes, Amazon, and VOD, I believe, called Mother's Little Helpers. It premiered at South by Southwest Film Festival. We had a really fabulous film festival circuit that we did, went all over the country. And it's very exciting to have this movie come out. It's with Milana Weintraub. Do you know who that is? She was on this.
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Brita Wool, Melanie Hudson from SNL.
Oh, she was going to be in that one Disney or Marvel show as Squirrel Girl, but I don't think that's happening.
Exactly, precisely, yeah. But we all co-wrote, co-produced, and starred in this film that we shot over the course of 8 days. It's about a family basically stuck in isolation, waiting for their boomer mother to pass away and losing their minds. Basically, it's a quarantine comedy.
No, not a coincidence, right?
Not at all. It's accidentally so much more relevant than we had ever intended it to be. So it's very strange and funny that it's coming out right now. But my hope is that it's kind of offers a little bit of comfort to for people to kind of to see their experience sort of reflected back at them.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, with the quarantine we have right now, I don't know how that's affecting you, and whether you're still able to work on different kind of projects, but through different mediums.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when we finished filming the finale, Trump had declared the national emergency, and they closed down the California borders, and we finished filming at like 8:30 in the morning, and they immediately wanted to put me on a plane to get back down to California, and I wasn't really comfortable doing that, so I ended up taking a Greyhound, crossing the border, holding Lysol wipes up to my face, and went to my sisters in Seattle. And I was with my nephews, and we filmed this movie on my iPhone about a magician and his relationship with a mime that I'm convinced it's going to go to Cannes. But it's, I feel like this is a time when technology has really met the moment. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of cool art coming out of this time. With people, using the assets that they have available to them to make whatever it is they can, because we have no option. We have to just make our own stuff, Oh
yeah. Excellent. And I'm going to wrap up the interview now, and just want to say thank you for, taking your time to be a part of this. And thank you for everyone watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Watch Batwoman.